कितना अच्छा लगता है जब हमें कोई हमारे नाम से पुकारता है। नाम के बारे में ही कुछ बात करते हैं आज की इस क्लास में। ग्रीटिंग्स टू ऑल, once again welcome to Dr. Abha Chemistry Pathshala. So my today's topic is nomenclature of amines. I will be taking the common names as well as the IUPAC names of amine. अमीन में एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात होती है, अमीन्स की जो डिग्रीज़ हैं वो कार्बन से नहीं होती हैं, वो नाइट्रोजन से होती हैं। लाइक इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट 1 degree alcohol, 2 degree alcohol, 3 degree alcohol or halide 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, they all have a relation. The functional group is attached to the primary, secondary or tertiary carbon respectively. But when we talk about 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree amine, it is not related to the degrees of carbon, but it is related to the alkylation of ammonia, that is nitrogen, right? So in this class we will be talking in detail about all three types of amines: aliphatic, aromatic and common names, as well as the IUPAC names. Without wasting time, let's dive straight into the class. Before we start with the common names and IUPAC of amines, I would just like to remind you of the degrees of amine, right? So class, you know there are 3 degrees of amine: primary, that is 1 degree, secondary, that is 2 degree, tertiary, that is 3 degree. Primary, secondary and tertiary. And incidentally, it has got nothing to do with primary carbon, secondary carbon, tertiary carbon. Unlike halide, unlike alcohols, where we have 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree halides or alcohols based on the degree of the carbon. But here we have got nothing to do with the degree of carbon. Now, if we have, suppose we have 1 degree amine. 1 degree amine is RNH2, right? I am writing at the top, RNH2 is 1 degree amine, right? Now, if this hydrogen is, if the second hydrogen is further replaced by one more alkyl group, that is RNH R dash, this becomes secondary amines. If the third hydrogen is also replaced by another alkyl group, right, this will become tertiary amine. R can be alkyl and we can have AR also, we can have aryl also, right? So I hope the degree of the amine is very clear. So nitrogen having 2 hydrogen, 1 degree amine. Nitrogen having 1 hydrogen, nitrogen with 2 hydrogen, 1 degree amine. Nitrogen with 1 hydrogen, secondary amine. And nitrogen with no hydrogen, that is all alkyl group, will be tertiary amine. Okay, so I made a table. The first we start with the primary amine. And we will take open chain aliphatic compound. The IUPAC name is alkanamine. Alk is the number of carbon atom. Ane is for the suffix, primary suffix. Amine is for the secondary suffix, that is for the functional group. Alkyl amine, that is going to be the common name. Let's do some examples. Very interesting example. Okay, so CH3NH3. CH3 is 1 carbon, NH2 is for amine, so it becomes alkanamine is methenamine, and the common name is going to be alkyl. Methyl is the alkyl name, methylamine. Next one is CH3, sorry, this is going to be CH2, NH2. So this is going to be 3 carbon amine, which is 3 carbon is propanamine, and alkyl will be propylamine. Let's move on to the next one. Again, this is NH2. NH2 means it is again a primary amine only. So 1 carbon, first carbon, second carbon, third carbon. Now for amines, let me remind you, we have to take the longest carbon chain, right? Because amine is not a terminal functional group. Amine can be placed anywhere. So here we have 3 carbon, 3 carbon की आपकी chain है, and then NH2 at the center, so you have propane 2-amine. And this alkyl group is isopropyl. Isopropyl, what is isopropyl guys? ये आपका isopropyl होता है, right? So this is isopropylamine or propane 2-amine. Let's move on to the next example. Very simple one. This is butane 2-amine. Carbon atoms I've given the counting. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon chain is butanamine, but amine is at the second. So it becomes butane 2-amine. Butane 2-amine. And what about the alkyl name? So this is known as sec-butyl. This is known as sec-butylamine. Sometimes you call sec-butyl as methyl propyl. But guys, if you write methyl propylamine, it will seem as a secondary amine. So आपको इसको bracket में डालना है, because methyl propyl is single alkyl. Methyl propyl single alkyl है बेटा, so you have to put it in the bracket. Let's move on to the next one. Look at the structure. There, it's a cyclic compound. Cyclohexane has an amine, so it becomes cyclohexanamine. And a common name is going to be cyclohexyl amine. The next one is benzene, so it is aniline or benzene amine. And aniline is IUPAC. Let me remind you, aniline, toluene, phenol, benzaldehyde, these are all historical names. These names were discovered much before IUPAC. So when the IUPAC was invented, these historical names were carried forward. So aniline is very liberally used as a IUPAC. Aniline is common name also. And one more IUPAC is benzene amine. Look at this one. This is 1, 2, 3. At the second position there is an ene, at the first position there is an amine, and 3 carbon chain, so prop 2 ene 1 amine. I hope it's clear. Or this whole thing is also known as allyl. This whole thing is also known as allyl. And if you want to give it one more name, there's one more name. If you want this as an alkyl name, so this is going to be prop 2 ene 1 ill. Allyl is nothing but prop 2 ene 1 ill, right? The only thing what you have to do is you have to start numbering from amine, because amine को preference देना है. So that this amine, prop 2 ene 1 ill amine, is nothing but allyl amine. Okay? Allyl is a very important common name. Next पे आ जाओ. 2 carbon with a double bond, ethene amine or ethene 1 amine. I think 1 is just optional, so ethene amine will also do. And you know it, this is known as vinyl. This is known as vinyl. If you want one more name, you can write. See, you start writing the IUPAC of this. This is ethene. So make it a ethene. Make it a alkyl. Ethenyl. Ethenylamine. Ethenylamine. That is also one of the names, right? Let's move to the second one. This has got a benzene ring. This has got a benzene ring, and there's a CH3 and there's a NH2. Okay? You know, if we follow preference series, you always give preference to NH2. So this name is the proper name. 2-methylaniline. Many a places this is also given. Although here both this historical name of toluene has been used, but I believe if we follow the proper preference series, we should avoid this one. We should avoid this one, and we should write 2-methylaniline is the correct name, right? Because in the above structure, which is very commonly given in so many books, we are giving preference to CH3 over NH2. NH2 को हम क्या मान रहे हैं? We are assuming it as a side chain or as a locant. तभी हमने इसको अमीनो की तरह लिखा है. ओके, यहाँ पे आ जाइए. See, this name is a combination of aniline and toluene. This name is a combination of aniline and toluene. So, what is it? Orthotoluidine, because both of them are ortho to each other. Just see guys, this is the first position, this is this 1, 2. 1, 2 are the ortho का position. 1, 2, 1, 6 are ortho का position. 1, 3, 1,5 are meta position and 1,4 is para position. Okay, so orthotolidine. Ortho, this is misspelled, the spelling is wrong. Orthotolidine. Right? Okay, so toluidine. Next, let's come to the next one. Here what we have taken a 6 carbon ka chain. So it is hexane 1,6 diamine. Hexane, this is also known as commonly hexamethylenidiamine. Now you say why we have not mentioned the position, because hexamethylene means back to back and the end terminals पे आपके amine होंगे, right? Okay. Few more 1 degree amines. These are aromatic. Now these are all aromatic. Benzene के साथ जब भी लगा रहेगा, you will call it as aromatic. Now aromatic amine में there is methoxy. So this is 2-methoxy benzene amine. 2-methoxy benzene amine or 2-methoxy aniline, or also known as, guys, one is aniline. Aniline क्या होता है? This is aniline, right? And one is, any idea what is this? Anisole. So anisole plus aniline. Anisole plus aniline आपका क्या बन गया? Anicidine. Anicidine, and since they are ortho to each other, so it is orthoanicidine. Okay, let's start with the second degree amine or secondary amines. For secondary amine, either the formula can be R2NH or the formula can be RNHR-. In the first one I have taken identical alkyl groups, in the second one I have taken dissimilar alkyl groups, right? So for the first one, the IUPAC name will be N-alkyl-alkanamine. For the second one also, the IUPAC remains the same, N-alkyl-alkanamine. The only thing is the larger alkyl part, whichever is the larger alkyl part, becomes alkanamine. For common name, if you are considering both the alkyl groups are same, then you will use dialkylamine as the common name. But if both the alkyl groups are different, you will use the name as alkyl-alkylamine in alphabetical order. Like, let's move on to the first example. Look at the first example. One side I have C2H5 and the other one is CH3. So the name is going to be, CH3 is the smaller alkyl group, so it is going to be N-methyl, and the bigger one, that is the 2-carbon alkyl group, becomes the main compound, that is ethane amine. So the IUPAC name will be N-methyl ethane amine, and the common name follows the rule alkyl-alkylamine, ethyl-methylamine. Please note I have used the alphabetical order. Quickly move on to the next example. Almost similar example, the only thing is I have used both the alkyl groups as same, that is C2H5. So the name becomes IUPAC, and ethyl ethane amine is the IUPAC, and the common name is diethylamine. Third example, 2 benzene rings. So this is a secondary amine where there are 2 benzene rings, right? Now, one benzene and NH2 forms the main compound. They will form the main compound, that is benzene amine or aniline, as told in the 1 degree amine, and the other benzene appears as phenyl. So it is going to be N-phenyl-aniline, N-phenyl-aniline or N-phenyl-benzenamine. The common name will be diphenylamine. The common name will be dialkyl-alkylamine. So it is going to be diphenylamine, or you can also use, because aniline is also taken as a common name. Aniline is taken as a common name, so you can always use N-phenyl-aniline for this one. N-phenyl-aniline for this one, right? Okay, the next one. Let's move on to the tertiary. The rule for the tertiary is very similar to the secondary. Now we have, you can see we have 3 alkyl groups. So they can be dissimilar, they can be similar. If they are, whether they are similar or dissimilar, the only thing which has to be ensured is alkanamine. The main compound has to be the largest one in case of dissimilar alkyl groups. If they are all similar, no, then then you don't have to think anything. One becomes alkanamine, rest two becomes alkyl. But if they are dissimilar, please mind the biggest one, the largest one becomes alkanamine. And for the similar ones, N, N dialkyl, N, N dialkyl. Okay, alkylamine is going to be the common name. Alkylamine again in the alphabetical order becomes the common name, and trialkylamine is if all three of them are similar. For example, all three methyl, IUPAC, N, N dimethyl, methenamine. Common name trimethylamine. Common name trimethylamine. Now just see, we have one side, you have two side as propyl, two side as propyl, right? And the third side you have CH, C2H5, CH3. Please mind guys, this is the largest alkane, right? And it has got how many carbon? It has got 4 carbon. But this amine is present on the second carbon. So for the main compound, the name is going to be butane 2-amine. Can you see why 2-amine? 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. So the main compound is going to be butane 2-amine. And what about N? At ends you have propyl and propyl. So N, N dipropyl butane 2-amine. Now if you look at the common name, this part, right? This part can be named as, either you can call it as sec-butyl, or you can call it as methyl propyl. Sec-butyl is same as methyl propyl. So if you are using sec-butyl, straight away you will use sec-butyl, and there are 2 isopropyl, so di-isopropyl, dipropyl amine, right? Now please ensure that these are written in alphabetical order. So sec ka you don't have to say take S, you have to take B, and di-isopropyl you have to take P. So B comes before P. So you will write sec-butyl first and then di-isopropyl later, dipropyl later. And please mind, if you are writing methyl propyl, then you will write methyl propyl in bracket and then dipropyl amine. Now why you are writing this? Because if you are not using bracket, this becomes methyl propyl can be taken as different alkyl groups. So but you know it is a single alkyl group, so you will put it in the bracket. Let's do few practice questions, right? So the first practice question, let me give you the first one. Just I will do very few. Okay, what will be the name? What will be the name? This is a tertiary amine, right? Because there is no H. So which is the biggest one? This is the largest chain. And since this is the main functional group, this becomes 1. This is not 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is but 3-ene-1-amine. This is the main compound, and then of course N, N dimethyl. This becomes your complete name, right? Let's move on to one more example, one more practice question. Look at this. This is a secondary amine, right? Okay. Now, what about the alkane? Alkane part is this one. The largest alkane part is this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is pentane 2-amine. This is, just mind it, pentane 2-amine. And what about the alkyl part? Alkyl part is at the 4th carbon, right? Okay. Now look at this. N-alkyl also has methyl. So it is N-methyl and there is 4-pp-methyl. So main compound ka numbering is 4, that you will write first. The main compound numbering 4 you will write first, comma N, and is also taken as a point of attachment, so you're putting comma, right, and this is going to be dimethyl. Rest इसको आप join कर देंगे. I've left space by mistake, right? So 4 comma N dimethyl pentane 2-amine. If you look at the second example, if you look at the counting is going to be, it's again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This is pentane 2-amine hai. Again it is an example where I have taken pentane 2-amine. And what you will write is pentane 2-amine pe there is N-ethyl, right? There is N-ethyl and then there is 4-methyl, right? So N-ethyl और pentane amine की 4th position पे 4-methyl pentane amine, right? So this 4 is present on this, so this will come before pentane amine, right? Last example. Okay, so how will you can do counting? One side when you do counting, you get this. The other side when you do counting, you get this. You don't have to take the black counting, you have to take the white counting. Why? Because in white counting, NH2, which is the main functional group, gets the lower position, right? So the name is going to be, this is your Hex 5-ene 3-amine. This E will be dropped. So this is Hexane amine, Hex 5-ene 3-amine. That was all about amines. So I hope आपने सारे के सारे कॉमन नेम्स और आईपैक नेम्स को अच्छे से नोट किया होगा. एंड एक बार आप इनके रूल्स को रिवाइज करते रहिएगा और फिर से ध्यान रखिएगा N, फॉर टर्शरी, N alkyl फॉर सेकेंडरी और प्राइमरी होगा तो कोई N नहीं होगा. सो वैसे बहुत ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है. आई थिंक आपको समझ आ गया होगा. इट्स सिंपल बट थोड़ी सी छोटी छोटी चीज़ें जिनको आपको ध्यान में रखना है. ठीक है, तो अब नेक्स्ट वीडियो के लिए आपसे ज़्यादा चाहते हैं. सो टेक केयर, गॉड ब्लेस.